So I'm not gonna lie, Maddox is a name I haven't heard in years. And when I mean years, I'm talking at least since 2018, with him having that one song on X's album.
Like ooh, like ooh, like ooh, ooh.
Yeah, it's been a minute since then, and a lot of things in rap and just overall has changed dramatically over the years. Guys that we thought that were gonna be the new faces of hip hop never quite reached that ceiling. AI has been taking over the true nature of rap, not really knowing what's real and what's not. And childlike rap sensations like Lil RT, Lil Tay, and Bad Baby has been coming and going every year, which sadly could be attributed to Matt himself, but not in the same way as these influencers.
I dropped out of Harvard to save the rap game.
Matt was born on December 13, 2004 in Longcrest, Philadelphia, to a 15-year-old teen mom in a single-parent household after his father took his own life from a mental illness when Matt was 2 years old. And in the very beginning, things were really tough for both of them, especially for how young she was. But they will also develop a brother-sister-like relationship and will become very close due to the small age gap also. Matt growing up was a very hyperactive, energetic kid who always had a creative mind when it came to music, which was first introduced to him at the young age of 4, when he first heard Eminem and Kendrick Lamar on the radio, and it stuck with him. And from that moment on, he knew what he wanted to do for the rest of his life, where by the age of 8, he would already start writing his own lyrics and songs filled with profanity, which his mom at first was not a fan of when she first discovered it, but would quickly support his newfound passion by at first putting him in a youth Philly dance group called the Dollar Boys, who were best known for popularizing a style called tangin' and would go by the moniker DB Matt. Matt being a part of the Dollar Boys was his actual first time experiencing some sort of fame, and what makes some notable headlines in some magazines and internet posts. But Matt essentially wanted a different kind of fame, where he could express his art through his music, and with his uncle already being a part of a band and having music connections, Matt by default essentially had access to record his music in the actual studio whenever his uncle would take him. And from this moment on, everything in Matt's life would change forever. Within a few months of Matt recording some of his first couple of songs and music videos, he would get the attention of a music collective called Working on Dying. More specifically, a guy named Forza and Lil Zubin, who both came across his music and would put him on with a notable producer named Filthy, who would become his manager at first and put him under his wing.
Yeah, I be around, but I keep it low key. Philly be my town where everybody know me.
With Matt finding his new sound under this umbrella, his music and popularity would exponentially take off from here, with 2 of his first songs, Low Key and Michael Myers, really gaining traction online, with both of them reaching over 100k views. But in May of 2017, Matt's stardom would elevate to the mainstream with a single called Overwhelming, and Matt knew from the jump that this song was gonna be a hit, especially when he first dropped the audio on SoundCloud and it got 10k plays in the first day. But with a music video, fidget spinners, and a little white kid rapping about that gangster life will go even crazier. Matt would become an overnight sensation in the hip-hop space, almost similar to how 6ix9ine became popular with Gummo, due to this oddly uncharacteristic like rap figure talking about his streets in the block, while at the same time not really looking like they had 1 ounce of hood in them. And this song would spark the perfect example of meme culture and hip-hop literally plastered everywhere, only raising Maddox's stardom to another level, even with the hate. And with this newfound fame and success in his music came the record labels, where shortly after he was signed with Warner Bros and everything seemed all perfectly good for his career. But believe it or not, that really wasn't the case.
He's trying to be grown. It's funny. He looks, you can't take him serious. I'm sorry, I don't even know what to say.
Following Overwhelming, a lot of negative press will come towards Matt's way due to the explicit nature in his music videos, where he's seen in one holding a knife and another lady twerking in the background, which was the final straw for his school to kick him out, and he was forced to start being homeschooled. But this didn't stop his momentum at all. In fact, it probably increased it, considering that he would just drop out. And the following song after Overwhelming would be his next hit song called Messages. But this is where the peak of Maddox's fame would quickly deteriorate for countless amounts of reasons. Instagram would start shadow banning and deleting multiple of his accounts on their website, slowing down his engagements and interactions with his fans drastically, somewhat killing the momentum. And under Warner Bros, he will only release 3 singles, one of them being Messages, which I just said that was very successful, but the other 2, Athlete and Deposits, were a complete flop, and were 2 songs that people probably don't remember that he even dropped.
When do you feel like you fell off? like Deposits and like Athlete. Songs you never heard.
In 2018, he was signed to Motown and would drop singles like 0 Degrees and Jet Lag, featuring his idol Chief Keef, and would gear up to drop his debut album. But before he did that, he arguably made one of the biggest moves in his career on a random FaceTime with this one particular artist.
XXX Tentacles, nigga!
On one particular random day, Maddox would FaceTime X, just talking about random things and playing him some of his music. Typical things he said that he would do with him on a regular, but one track he played for X really caught his attention, and X would ask him could he send him that song so he could record a verse on it, which of course he did, and about a week later, X would call him back saying that he's gonna put this song on his album.
I FaceTimed him, and we was just talking, and I played him the one song, the hook, and he was like, yo, send that to me, that's crazy. And I sent it to him, and he texted me like a week later, he like, yo, my peoples think this joint a hit, bro, I think it's a hit too, bro, like, I'm gonna put you on the album. I was like, bet.
In October, Matt would drop his debut album called Ox, and I ain't gonna lie, it got some of the most funniest and harshest reviews. The album of course was met with a lot of criticism, considering that he was looked at as a literal meme rapper, and most people wasn't really trying to listen to a full album of a 12-year-old rapper with a high-pitched voice. But following this album, Maddox would go into music in what felt like a spotlight hiatus, not really being heard or talked about in 2019 or in 2020, unless it was an awkward interview he was doing or having dreadlocks. Not really for his music anymore. Sure, he had a couple songs in 2020 that had some traction and gained a decent amount of views, but it just seemed like at that point his presence in the music scene was already fading and people were over his shtick, moving on to the next trending thing. But I will also mention that his pull-up song in 2018 would become very popular on TikTok once Bronny James posted it on his social media. Maddox today is just chilling, minding his own business, and living his best life while making music. He's recently last year dropped a collab album with Surf Gang called Oxygen, and even dropped another one later that year called Teen Rage. And he's been consistently dropping singles more than ever now as an independent artist, something that he says he's always wanted to be once he realized that signing to a major wasn't really his thing. He's also collaborated with guys like Lindsay Foe and Uno the Activist on his 2022 album Year of the Ox, and him collabing with those guys makes total sense, cause his music and sound has now changed a lot and matured. He doesn't sound like a 9-year-old chipmunk on helium anymore. He sounds more like Playboy Cardi in 2017 during his Cash Cardi era, mixed in with the Chief Keef flow. Like, you gotta listen to his music cause he sounded exactly like him. But it's fire though, and he even seemed to form his own collective called Ox Always Wins. Haven't heard any music under that umbrella yet, but I'll definitely go check it out, and you probably should too. But overall, it's still crazy seeing Matt today and seeing how far he's grown up. He's not that little kid no more with the high-pitched voice that be playing with fidget spinners and water guns. He's now that melodic drugged up rapper that everybody wants to be like, and could take your girl out of her panties in any split second while you just sit there succumbing to the presence of his greatness.
Shut up, bro. Shut up, bro. Shut up, bro. For real, bro. Shut up.
No, I'm just playing. All jokes aside though, check out his music. He just dropped a song recently called Dark Matter. It sounds pretty fire. Trust me, he's not that same kid who's still making that high-pitched lullaby music. Like, he actually has charisma in his voice now, and he's came a long way.